Good evening, everyone, and welcome to our Monday Night Live. And we are happy that you're able to join us. And we have been bubbling over the past couple of days on looking at healthy challenges, a 31-day health challenge, and people seem to appreciate it and look forward to the health challenge every day. And so if you are joining us for the first time, I want to welcome you. And we will hear from you shortly. Today, I want us to talk. I want us to, just open the mic and unmute and speak. Put notes in the chat as we go through and ask questions. And I have something very interesting that I'm going to share in a short while. So let's begin with a word of prayer. Heavenly Father, we give you thanks for the opportunity to meet and to be able to share with each other and find solutions for healthier lives and encourage each other as we walk this path daily. And we ask for your continued leading and guidance in everything. This is our prayer in Jesus' name. Amen. Right. So first of all, I want you to tell me where in the world are you? So put it in the chat, unmute. This evening, we want to talk and get to know each other, especially we're in the same group and we're challenging ourselves for the next 31 days. So where in the world are you?
I'm Yvonne from Canada.
Canada. Okay, welcome, Yvonne from Canada.
Thank you.
Oklahoma, Barbados, Trinidad, yes, and Tobago.
I'm Evelet, Texas.
Hello, Sister Evelette from Texas.
Allison from Washington, D.C.
Okay, wonderful, Washington. Welcome. We
Bertha
have
Hines. Bertha Hines from Barbados.
Barbados. Okay, excellent, Sister Bercher. All right. Bahamas, Maryland, Cuba in Trinidad. Very well. Okay, so, and do we have anyone from Tobago? Maybe? St. Vincent and the Grenadines. Wow, very nice. That's my second homeland. British Virgin Islands, Connecticut. Excellent. So welcome to all of you. And please share the link with someone whom you have invited on the challenge because maybe they didn't see the advertisement and they would pretty much want to join us here this evening because we are going to go in depth to walk some steps in making changes today. All right, so good. So now that we have everyone sort of familiar with each other, let me just share screen for a little bit. And I'm gonna first find my, yeah, so I'm Dr. Natalie Nash, and I'm talking to you from True Health Lifestyle Center, located in Trinidad and Tobago. And we've had some visitors recently, just yesterday, some folks from the US, they are in town and they came by to visit. So if you happen to be nearby or please feel free to do so because we will be happy to meet you. And that's the thing, just meeting you in person. So it's lovely to connect. So today our topic, let's talk small steps, big outcomes. And we're looking at our 31-day challenge. And so it just started and we haven't gone deep yet. It's going to be covering certain pillars and we want to work through that shortly. So announcements. Tomorrow is our diabetes support group. Yeah, I have to put this out in the chat as the note to remind individuals who are in our support group. It's our first Tuesday is tomorrow evening. So make sure we're there. We have some good discussion going on, what we started last month, and we will be continuing this month. And of course, we do have our 11 and 18-day residential program that's currently going on, and the folks are excited. They're being taken care of, learning and practicing all these helpful, habits, getting the teas, and whether it be bitter or sweet or sour, and they are just like enjoying themselves at the same time while being healed, experiencing their healing. So we give God thanks for them, and we look forward to seeing and hearing great testimonies coming forward. So here we are. Yesterday we had our day one. It's a 31-day health challenge, day one yesterday. And we looked at, to add at least one fresh fruit with breakfast. Many times individuals rush on to eat their food, but they neglect to add that raw component, and they may not add fruit. So it might be cereal in a bowl and they just start digging in, or sandwiches and they just start chewing. But what happened to the fruit? You could start off with some fruit. So it is a habit that might be new and need to be implemented. So hence we asked for that. And then today we talked about replacing one processed food with one whole plant-based option. And I have a presentation to do for you on ultra-processed food. So we give, for example, packaged chips, and you swap that out for potato. Even if it was like tortillas and so forth, that's processed. It might come from corn, it might come from wheat, it's broken down. It might be healthy-ish, but it's not a whole food, it's not a whole corn, it's not a whole grain. So that's the idea. We want to eat the whole grain, the whole food. So we should, instead of cornflakes, eat oatmeal. And let's use beans and our lettuce and swap that out in place for processed meat and meat substitutes. And so or even you could be vegan or vegetarian and you have the processed soy, the huge amounts of processed soy. And so if you are using the processed soy, what do these things come with? High amounts of sodium and preservatives, and having compounds in there that may be harmful to us. So we want to swap those things out and have the whole bean, whole food. Okay, so look out for tomorrow, day 3, as we will post it out in that session. All right. So let me just hear from you. Eat fruit before breakfast? Great. I eat only once a day. Oh my. Okay, so this is what we want to hear from you. So you may have your questions. So someone is saying that whether we should eat fruit before breakfast. It's at the same time with our breakfast. So say if you're doing pineapple, for example, or apples. So let's hear from Desiree. Desiree, could you unmute and tell us what fruits do you like?
Yes, hi. I like banana and papaya.
Okay, good. So you may cut up some banana and papaya and have it in a bowl. Nice.
Yes. Mm-hmm.
Okay, and what else would you eat with that meal?
With that meal,
Anything.
a local fried egg, a slice of multigrain drizzle with honey on it, and just lettuce or kale.
Okay. All right. So here's what we want. So if you wanted to do breakfast, you have that banana and papaya. Good. You
Mm-hmm.
eat that first at the start of the meal. Yeah, you're ready, sit
Okay.
down, laid out for breakfast. You go eat that. It's raw. raw foods will be digested quickly at the uppermost part of the stomach and gotten rid of. And then we bring in the cooked food, which would take a little longer to be digested. Now, say you have your bread, that's good there on the plate. And then we're also looking to have fiber on that plate.
Mm.
So I see you have the eggs there for protein, but we want to add something more for fiber. It need not be the lettuce and the kale. You know why? Because those are vegetables. And we want to separate our fruits from our vegetables when we are eating at a meal.
Mhm.
So either we have a fruit plate, a fruit meal, or we have a vegetable meal. So let me explain what would be an example of fruits. Genesis 1:11 talks about the fruit-bearing tree whose seed is within itself. Okay, so if the seed is within its fruit from since the beginning of time, that has not changed. And what you find is that you go to the nutrition books, the nutrition classes, they identify what would be a fruit botanically, and it would have had a flower and it would blossom and all of that. And it will bear something that usually have seed on the inside. Botanically, it's recognized as fruit. Therefore, start thinking that some may be savory, some may be sweet, the mango or banana, the pineapple, the papaya. But then we also have other items that we consume, such as eggplant, okra. Some people with diabetes might be interested more in Karali or bitter gourd. You have pumpkin, we have squash. So those are examples of fruit type items that can go along with your fruit meal. Yeah.
Mm.
And so if you had with your bread, you had some pumpkin or squash, and then you had your eggs for your protein, that's what you're having. And at least in the pumpkin and the squash, you're getting some fiber in there. As we're thinking healthy, start also thinking about replacing that protein meal with a fiber protein. And so if you start thinking about a protein that has fiber in it, you land on peas and beans. Why is that important? Because we want to add more fiber in our diet. And we also, especially for individuals who may be diabetic, having that fiber can help to reduce the glucose in your bloodstream after you've eaten. And so it can also help us to improve our bowel movement, give us greater satiety so that we don't feel hungry sooner, and that would prevent us from snacking. So there's so many benefits. So that's what the plate can look like. And to end the meal, you want to have a closed handful of nuts and seeds, or either one. So you can have pumpkin seeds and flower seeds. You can have peanuts, walnuts, almond nuts, your nuts of choice, but it's a closed handful. What fits inside your hand when it's closed, that will estimate a serving for you. So it's not going to be too much because we don't want to overdo on our fats. Yeah, someone is suggesting also fruit can be cucumbers and tomatoes, and you can eat some raw, you can stew some and have that on the plate, and that gives us great fiber as well. All right, so hope that was helpful to you, Desiree.
Yes, thanks.
You're welcome. All right, someone says my dinner was 4 green banana coleslaw with an apple and tomatoes and chicken. Okay, so green banana coleslaw, chicken is the protein. apples and tomatoes. All right, so let's take the green banana, the chicken, the apple and tomato, and keep it right there. So that tomato, you can actually cut it up and make like a tomato salsa if you like. In that case, it would be raw, and or stewed potatoes can taste really good. If you stew up your potatoes, put a little onion in there, and that can taste really good with some green banana. And you have your apple to start. Okay, always end, that's Kathian, always end with your fats at the end of the meal. So you notice we start eating raw because raw can be easily digested, go on in our system, and then you end your meal with fats. So as you have fats at the end of the meal, it helps you to hold out until your next meal time, and you tend to feel fuller for longer. And so, Kathian, let's put the coleslaw for another combination. Even if you did the green banana or potato, you have the coleslaw, and you had the chicken, and you put some lettuce to match the coleslaw, you will make a vegetable meal right there. All right, so you'd make a veggie once you add some lettuce along with the coleslaw, and you do the chicken for your protein and so on. Okay. I was told that fruits take about half an hour to digest, so any breakfast meal should follow on after the fruit. Yeah, so you eat your fruit first, and that would be your raw item. When we go just dump cooked food on our system, it increases inflammation in our gut. Okay, so that's why we need to start off with the fresh raw foods first. It breaks the fast. It also helps to introduce that food is coming to the stomach, and it provides enzymes for digesting the meal. Now, what is the duration? When it comes to watermelon, because of the high water content, we give a spacing before the next meal. At least a 15-minute spacing. 30 minutes may be too long for most people. If you have digestive problems, then I could see the 30 minutes because the digestion is like super slow. Even water, you would need to stop drinking 30 minutes before you begin to eat. But when it comes to watermelon, high water content, we don't bring it in too close to the food because it would be like eating and drinking at the same time. Now, however, if you have good robust digestion, staying 30 minutes and longer could actually constitute another meal, because whatever you would have eaten for the fruit, your body begins to digest that and then thinks it's all over. But then more food comes. So that's actually like another meal. And Kamini, you're talking about 30 minutes. Some people actually do like an hour or more. You know, they say they'll have the fruit first, then they go out, they do their walk, they go do some chores and everything, and then come back. That's having a second meal in the morning. So, you know, it's okay for us to have it closer. Now, all right. If someone is pre-diabetic, what is the best healthy diet for them? Arki, you need to join our diabetes support group, Natalia. We have our diabetes support group tomorrow evening. And so we are talking, so everything in that space would be diabetes. But the best healthy diet for them will be a whole food plant-based diet. And particularly so because it has more fiber. Fiber tends to reduce the blood sugar in our bloodstream. reducing that sugar spike, because every time any of us eat, our glucose level will go up. But the more fiber you have in the diet, it tends to reduce that sugar spike. If you have this glucose spike, you create a demand for more insulin quickly. And a surge of insulin can be coming, and that is not healthy for our body. That can be damaging to our blood vessels and can cause, negative impact, heart attacks and strokes later on because of high amounts of glucose in our system. But by having a more fiber diet on our diet, you find the glucose would rise, but gradually and at a lower rate. And which meals should you eat your salad with? So if it's salad as in lettuce, then eat it with a vegetable meal. If it is salad as in tomatoes and cucumbers, or some people might have a fruit salad, then have it at a fruit meal. Now, one thing to note is please don't eat the raw at the end of your meal. Like some individuals may think of eating their fruit bowl for dessert. And having your fruit bowl for dessert, you're bringing raw food now dumped on top of cooked food that will take hours to be digested. So that raw food can ferment in your stomach. And you know what it feels like when you're belching, when you are bloated, when you feel gassy. And so it's not healthy to have that raw fruit towards the end. Just remembered to mention that. So my notes, fruit meal or veg meal? Very good, Desiree. Excellent. That's fantastic. Okay, so Ria asking, and I'm coming to those with the hands, quinoa with steamed broccoli and carrots and cauliflower and cucumber and did with a piece of avocado. Oh, so you're sharing what you did. Okay, so let's eat the avocado and the cucumber at the start. We have the quinoa and the steamed broccoli, carrots, and cauliflower. Okay, so it seems like a little puzzle here. So Ria Mohammed. If we're doing quinoa with broccoli, with steamed broccoli, carrots, and cauliflower, let's put lettuce. Use your lettuce at that time. Okay, and add some protein. Well, quinoa is rich in protein too. And it's not a bad, it's not off to do your vegetables and greens, because vegetable and greens combined within a day in the body will help to give us sufficient amino acids to make protein. Vegetables and greens go well together, and greens and legumes go well together to help our bodies to produce amino acid to make protein. Our body can make our own protein. We don't need to get it from animal sources. All right. So if you did quinoa and your veggies, good. But start off, you can have your lettuce, but pair that with lettuce. And then keep the cucumber and the avocado for another meal when you can have cucumber, avocado, the quinoa, and choose a fruit type option, maybe tomatoes or squash or zucchini or, some of those other kinds of, or Karaili and so forth. So your cucumber, avocado could go with those other seed-like items. Okay, so I see we have some hands up. Let's take the hands. All right, T-Mobile. Okay. All right, Princess, you were saying something?
I took my hands down because I thought you was just answering the questions in the chat. But were you asking, like, what do we eat for breakfast?
Yeah, well, I was just asking folks, yeah, so let's hear what you would eat for breakfast.
Well, I have my warm water first, then my plain warm water, then I have my lemon and water, and then I have my fiber, and then I have my fruit bowl,
Yes.
which consists of, like this morning, I had a slice of pineapple, a half of a black plum, and a nectarine, a whole nectarine, and sometimes I have cherries with that or an apple. That's my
Okay.
fruit. That's my fruit bowl. And for my main course, I have scrambled tofu, couscous, and avocado, and a slice of whole wheat bread, homemade whole wheat bread. And then
Okay.
I have a handful of nuts, or I have the brain booster where I mix the brain booster where I mix the walnuts, the chia seed, the flax seed, the uh, hemp seed, and the date sugar in it, and a little pinch of salt. I'll have 2 tablespoons of that, and
Right.
that would end my meal.
Okay.
And then I'll have 2 dates. Or I'll have some prunes. I pre-soak the prunes in lemon and water, and I'll have a couple of those for bowel movement to help with bowel movement.
Right. Yeah, because that's what I was going to say. That will move your belly, right?
Yeah.
Push things along.
So am I doing okay there?
Yeah, sounds pretty good for me. You
Okay.
have some, and then I see your protein is your scrambled tofu. You had your couscous and your bread for your carbs, more focused carbs there. Yeah,
An avocado.
and the avocado to pair with that. Okay,
But
one.
sometimes I feel like I'm eating too much. Like that's too much.
You actually said your first course and then your main course, and then so I tell people that here, I tell them we are having a 3-course meal, and it goes like this: you have your raw, then you have the main part, and then you have the fats to end off with.
So I'm not eating too much?
You're eating like royalty.
Oh, wow.
And then remember, breakfast should be let's have our breakfast put together, fit for a queen or a king. Lunch like a prince or princess. Supper like a pauper. So you're good. You're okay.
Okay, thank you.
You're welcome. Samsung, T-Mobile, you all have input. Okay.
If that's for me, I just want to know where you get the 31-day health challenge. I did not see that, and I'm on all the platforms with you.
You're in the True Health
No,
platform?
that's the only one I'm not in, the True Health. I'm in the WhatsApp, and I'm on the with you when you're on the YouTube, the diabetes, the cancer, but I didn't see it.
I have been so hectic, super busy, you wouldn't believe. And so I probably missed putting it there. Wow. So we're just gonna be doing day 3 tomorrow. It's for this month, 31 days of March. And so I'm sorry, I will need to put it in those spaces as well. Yeah. And so you can still catch up.
Okay, thank you.
You're welcome. Thanks. And T-Mobile, you have input? Okay, maybe not. So I'll lower your hand until ready. Marcelin?
Hi, good night, doctor. I am realizing that I don't have enough for breakfast because usually I would have some water to start, sometimes warm water with lemon, and I would just have like a salad, like lettuce or tomatoes alone, with 3 boiled eggs, and that would be my breakfast.
Okay. So let's look. I have a plate to show you all just now. And so now that you're hearing us talking, you're thinking, well, maybe you need to add something more.
Yes.
Let's
Yes.
add some carbs to that. Now bread is also processed. Bread is flour, so the whole grain, even cornmeal is processed, but at least it's still better than you know, it's just
But
plain.
well, I recently found out that I'm diabetic. I was pre-diabetic and I moved up, unfortunately, to being diabetic. So I try not to have um, carbs because that's what the doctor told me, not to eat any carbs. So
Mhm.
just eat vegetables and oils.
Mhm. You need to come to the session tomorrow.
Okay.
In the diabetes group, because you're talking about things that will feed the problem that got you to that point in the first place, right? So what got you into the pre-diabetes state and even that advancing? Very much the oils and very much the fat content, as you mentioned, in the eggs and anywhere else in your diet that would have caused you to be insulin resistant. And now you have a challenge. So individuals do carbs, but not in excessive amount. But when they have the carb, they also have lots of fiber in that meal that will help to balance things off. So if they did some rice, so we tend to do sweet potato as opposed to the Irish potato. But even Irish potato, if cooked, yesterday was in the refrigerator last night, and then you brought it out today and you reheated it, that makes it more like a resistant starch, and it would not spike your glucose level as high as if you cooked it now and ate it right away. The refrigeration and reheating after tends to break down the glucose component in it. So that's a little way in which individuals can navigate through their food meal. But in coming to the in coming to the session tomorrow, we have had quite a number. We even last week concluded a whole series on diabetes. So you need to get access to those presentations and see what the food can be like. Yeah.
Okay,
Margaret,
thank you, doctor.
you're welcome, Masley. Margaret, you are unmuted. Okay. I'll mute you back unless, okay, you're not ready to speak. Okay, good. How to join a diabetes group. Okay, I will put it in the chat shortly. Once I come off my full screen, I can put it in this Zoom meeting, and you can just click on it and get on. All right, so I see another question. If someone has kidney problems, what should one have for breakfast? Very good. You need to get a kidney list of foods. When it comes to kidney, what we want to manage will be to reduce potassium and phosphorus. And you find a lot of the green leafy vegetables, they tend to have more of potassium in them, and that can be problematic. So we have to stay away from those. But things like cabbage, carrots, all of those you can work with. It's more on the veggie and then some fruits you can have small portion of pineapple, small portion of pawpaw. You could do some watermelon and be able to to still work around that. Rice, brown rice will give you more phosphorus on it as opposed to white rice. So it's not a great, fantastic diet, and the options are quite limited. And I tell people it may seem like you're having the same thing so many times, but just be patient until, just work on your body, reducing those certain types of minerals, and using some natural remedies to overcome and to help your kidney function to improve. Once that begins to happen and you stabilize, after a while, you should be able to come back and eat some of the healthy foods. But again, what has driven the kidneys to go bad? And it might be diabetes. So we got to watch the glucose and work towards it, reducing the glucose, and know that diabetes is reversible. So that could be easily taken care of. But the thing is now that the kidney has had some damage, we need to focus on the kidney some more. But there are nice, healthy things that you can do to reduce glucose levels, even walking. And that's not going to be harmful to your kidneys. And it's going to reduce your glucose, and your kidneys will actually love it because you're going to be improving circulation, probably perspiring, and using your skin to excrete toxins and not put a burden and load on your kidneys. So those are some pointers. But there is a list for kidney that you can do it within the plant food kingdom. All right. If I do curry chana and potato, is it overdoing if I have some quinoa at that meal? So the potato for your starch compound, quinoa, and chana. It could be okay because we're allowed certain sizes of carbs, and all foods have carbohydrates, proteins, and fats, just that some of them, they have more concentrated component in it. So when we have, if you have your potato more carb and your quinoa, that can be okay for you with your chana. And then we bump that up with some other fiber in there. Yeah. How can I join the 31-day health challenge? If you are in our True Health WhatsApp group, then that's one way in which you can join. Actually, the invitation for tonight's program, Monday Night Live, if you got the picture and with some words, look down in the bottom and you would see a WhatsApp. Join the WhatsApp group. So that's the WhatsApp group that you can join to get onto the health challenge. Next question. Can you share some of the kidney foods in the WhatsApp group? Okay, yeah, because it's something that I work with every day or regularly with individuals. Yeah. All right. So let's see what else. Carolyn Matthews. Carolyn. Yes. No.
Good night, Doc.
Hi, good
It's
night.
just, yeah, I just want to know if I'm doing the right thing. In the morning when I get up, I would take like 1 pint of warm water, and like 30 minutes after, I take some lemon water, which would be like 8 to 10 ounces. And I eat a big serving of fruit in the morning, especially pineapple. And I find that I'm getting like 3 bowel movement within like, I would get one when I get up at 5:30. I have a big bowel movement before we have devotion or a little after, which is like 6 to 6:30. I have one. And just after breakfast, I have a next one. Is that normal?
Yeah, that could be normal for you because of what you're doing.
Okay.
The amount of water you're drinking there. You know,
Yeah.
like think of a bucket and you're just throwing the water down the alley, throwing it down. That's what you're doing, in that early morning with that bolus of water down your gut. So it's pushing things along. And
Okay.
and so I guess during the day you have water and then
Yes, I
yeah,
yeah.
the pineapple. So the pineapple provides enzymes, it's gut friendly. So that the bromelain and everything great about the pineapple,
Yes.
fiber and so on. So that in itself is working along with any other food meal you would have. So
Let's see. Is
that
this?
yeah, that's working for you and so much water content. Now, folks, if you are eating fruit that has great water content in it, it loosens up your bowel. Watermelon,
Okay.
pineapple, yeah. Strawberry is a diuretic, huge amount water content in strawberries. And as opposed to something like guava. You hear people talk about guava will cork you because guava is so dry. Guava isn't juicy. So if we eat more juicy fruit, like watermelon gets me cleared. I love eating watermelon because the water content. So, and it's distilled water. It's nice, healthy. So once you're eating with those high water fruits, you're good to go. And then you come and you eat in your lettuce. It has water content in your lettuce, but the fiber in there.
Yes, yes, Doc. Yeah. Most
Yes.
of half of my plate is like fruits or vegetables. Right. And I put that alone. I don't put the rest of the meal on the plate until I'm finished with that because I'm tempted to mix and
Right.
eat more of the cooked food.
Yeah, and you sound like you're really measuring to make sure you have good serving of those fiber foods. So that's excellent. And it's working for you. Keep the gut happy, keep it moving. Don't have it stagnated and stuff stay in there too long. And you'll have more energy too, I'm sure. Yeah.
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 At times. Yeah.
Okay.
Thank you.
You're
Thank
welcome.
you.
All right. Okay, so good.
I get three big motions in the morning, and I say, wonder if, and they be, I just.
Okay, so let me just share a story with you. Now, this gentleman here, he actually, we worked with him. Okay, Claire, I seen the red marks. I'll reshare. All right, so we worked with him here at the center. He went through the same learning curve like you did and like you're doing now. And he too had a lot of questions. So what about this? What about that? What about the cheat days? And what about if you don't feel like? And, but he had a lot of questions. But, and his journey was long because he, at the start, on hearing about all of this, seemed pretty new and quite challenging, if you're not ready to make changes, it could be challenging, or you may be ready, but you just think it's difficult to organize. However, after a year, he finally got down to being serious about what he wanted his goals to be accomplished and of overcoming high glucose and blood pressure. And so he went to work at it seriously, put in all the changes as we're talking about with the diet, getting the exercise going, sleeping earlier, reducing stress, just taking time out to rest. He particularly told me that there is a huge difference between rest and sleep, and he found that and managed it well. And what happened is that he reduced his blood pressure. It wasn't the high value numbers. His diabetes reduced, and instead of being in the 200 and 300s, it's now down into normal ranges, but you get sometimes little fluctuations, but at least he feels better, in a better state. And again, just commitment is important. And I say the more you give, the more you put in, the more rewards you will get. So being consistent, committed, and then you find that the results would come even better. So he moved from at one time being 207 pounds, and he was greater than this, when he started to footsie into the changes. And but at one time he was 207 pounds, and in less than 90 days, he reduced his weight to 167 pounds. So with that, he felt great, had to change his wardrobe, and having more energy. Yeah. And so that's what he did. So I just wanted to share with you, and even his fatigue was gone. So to share with you that it is possible that you can experience improvement and shifts. So if you were pre-diabetic, imagine you don't have much to reduce to get back into normal. But even if you moved up to the stage of being diabetic, you can still reduce your glucose numbers with these lifestyle changes and be able to overcome. We just heard Sister Ramin, Olive Ramin, and I believe she's still on the set. And Sister Ramin, you want to tell the folks how old you are, or maybe we should ask them to guess. You heard her voice was like super strong, and she had she was talking about what she ate. Wouldn't you like to join her for breakfast one day? I would. So how old do you think Princess Ramin is? Anybody?
I know because I listen. I think she's 80.
Yeah.
You think? Okay, so you gave a clue. All right, so you didn't say exactly. You gave a clue. Anybody, you want to guess how old she is? Let's see. Somebody popped in the chat. 83. You guys are crowning her with many crowns. 88. Wow. Oh my.
Oh no.
They're ushering you in so quickly. 79. All right. You should see a picture of her. Okay. So Sister Armin, tell us, how old are you?
I'm 82 and a half.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and
I have absolutely no health issues at the moment. And my doctors are all amazed. They are always asking me every time I go, instead of them, looking after me, they're asking me, what do I do and what do I eat? I don't look 82. I don't act like I'm 82. I don't even know how I'm supposed to feel at 82 because I still do everything I want to do. I climb the ladder. I do my gardening. I walk. Everybody wants to walk as fast as I do. So I have lots and lots of energy.
Good. And people don't think that you look your age. They are always
Yeah. They say you look fabulous. I mean, I give God the praise, but I follow the health diet, the health, the 8 laws of health.
And at one point you might have had some health challenges before you practice better.
But you know what I found out? You know what they found out? They didn't find anything physically wrong with me. What happened was I overexerted myself by doing too much exercising. And that is what had caused the problem. Yeah, my AST and ALT was slightly elevated, and they couldn't find anything medically wrong with me. And that is the conclusion they came to.
Right.
Yeah. So, but I'd also like to share, if I may, my dad, on my dad's side, he and all of my aunts and uncles died from diabetes. symptoms of diabetes. And I swore that I wouldn't have it. So I did everything. I learned what I needed to learn in order that I don't come down with diabetes. Their diabetes started with them around the age of 50, 55, something like that. And I thank God that at my age, I don't have any symptoms of diabetes. At one point, I was pre-diabetic. I was 90, my glucose was 99. Now I have it down to 89.
Yeah, right. So that's fantastic, sir, and that's normal for you. Yeah, now you have a new norm, and you're within range, so that's great.
Right. And then all my blood tests came out above normal. None came on the borderline or nothing like that. All my blood tests came out either in the middle of the range or on the higher range. So yeah, because of the way that I eat, and I shared one of my breakfasts that I eat that I have in the mornings. But in addition to me having the scrambled tofu, sometimes I have oatmeal almond waffle, or I have black bean waffle, or chickpeas waffle, or sometimes I have that quinoa dish you told me about with the chia seed. That's delicious. And then I also have sometimes I have just plain oatmeal, and yeah, and sometimes I have my peas and rice and my beans, and I'm good for the day. I'm pumping up, ready to roll. And I still lift weights. I'm not to brag. I this morning I did an hour of weights with my class, my aerobics class. Yeah, I still lift weights. So I just follow all of these. See all of these challenges on here. I follow all of them, and I drink my water and everything.
Yes. Wonderful. Thank you. I'm coming back to you. I'm just looking for someone. Okay. I'll mute you. We just need to take this person now and then come back up. All right. Who do we have here joining us today?
Hello, everyone. Hello, I'm Dr. Deborah Bogar. Yes, go ahead. Sister Nash, Dr. Nash.
All right, everyone. we have a guest appearance, and so Dr. Bogar, she's my sister, and she's all the way out in California, and so she's been with us quietly, but now we're doing some activities together to serve you better. And so I just thought of introducing her to you, that you can meet her, and then you would start seeing her sharing and talking a bit more. Because of the time difference, she's unable to join us for the long. She's actually seeing patients at the moment and just quickly took a break to say hi to us.
Yeah, so true. Hi, everyone. So excited and happy to be here. It is almost 4 p.m. here in California. And so, yes, I have 2 more patients to have phone conversations with before the day is out. I'm a family nurse practitioner. I have my Doctor of Nursing Practice degree. I've been practicing for 5 years here in the Loma Linda, California area, and happy to be taking care of patients every day. The whole health and wellness is so important and so vital to the health and well-being of everyone. I just had a patient about an hour ago, and she has diabetes. I didn't see her since December, and her A1C was above 14. So I had the conversation with her all about healthy eating, healthy living, and the importance of walking after you eat. And so Dr. Nash always talk about digestive walk after you eat. So she came back today, and boy, oh boy, she lost weight, and she is walking after every meal. I was just so impressed and so happy. I'm like, you finally listened to me. You listened to what I have to say. And she's like, yes, doctor, I listened. She said after breakfast, she walk. When she's at work, after lunch, she would go for a walk. And dinner time, she would not eat anything past 7 p.m. And she would walk the dog in the evening. She lost weight, her blood sugar, she's feeling so much better. She reports a blood sugar of 115 this morning, and she's doing so much better. Last year, she had a lot of dizziness, you know, for months, dizziness, but it could have been the blood sugar was so high. But now she said all of that has gone away. So I was just so proud and so happy to hear of that good report. And I'm like, you see, the health and wellness works. And no matter where in the world you are, the same principles apply. So I do talk to my patients and give them that same information about healthy eating, healthy living, and putting all of these things in practice. You cannot go wrong with that. So I am so looking forward to being more vocal and being more present with Dr. Nash. She is so true. I have been a supporter all along, but I've been quiet on the sides, but so looking forward to being more present and being more active in the group. And thank you all for being here, and looking forward to this 31-day challenge. I'm so excited. I sent, to my friends on WhatsApp. I posted on Instagram, posted on Facebook. So I'm sharing the word because the message is just so important, and so happy for this challenge. I'm on the journey too this month, on the journey. So welcome to this journey, this health challenge, and thank you all for being here.
Okay, thank you for coming in, sis. And even for your patients, you end up having to reduce their medication or get them to that point where they can come off, because at a 115 for a morning glucose, I mean that's getting down close to within range. Yeah.
Yes, and the woman, my patient, she's so excited for how she's feeling, and she's seeing the difference. She's seeing the difference, and she's so happy and excited for the changes she has made, and how improved her health is now.
Wonderful.
Yes.
All right. So that's great. Thank you so much for sharing and popping in.
Yes,
Okay.
thank you. Take care.
All right. Bye.
Bye.
Well, okay, so there you have it, where you actually saw someone else really in practice. So if you guys weren't taking me on, if you weren't taking me on all the time, she's been talking. Let me tell you a secret. There are people would line up waiting to see her because she's putting in this other piece with them, having that conversation. And they recognize that she is so interested in them. And they are showing up and making sure that they have her as their doctor. And even if they have to wait to see her. They do appreciate that input because it's making a difference in their lives. So that there you see again. So I told you a story about a gentleman. We had Sister Ramin come in and telling you about her living daily experiences and her shifts in her health, and even her doctors confirming and affirming her in her changes, and that it works, and she has energy really to keep up with her walking. You gotta step on your, put that pep in your step. And then we got our Dr. Deborah popping in and just telling us about real true today experiences. So what, do we need to convince you anymore? Let it be on you. Let's hear your story, in the days and months and weeks to come. Let's hear your story as you
Dr.
step up
Nash,
to the challenge. Yes.
one
Yes.
more thing I'd like to share. I'd like to let everybody know, as a result of my diet and my lifestyle, I do not even take an aspirin.
Yes. Not even, well, you're like not even an aspirin, nothing.
Nope. No.
Oh, wonderful. All right. Oh, my time is up already. Let me see where in the slide I will pull up now. So that's great. Thank you so much, Sister Amin. So I know, let me just put this up and then we'll be able to close. So thanks everyone for your input. So here we are. Question to you today. I want you to think right now. I have a question and I want to see some feedback. You're here and we're talking about making changes. We're talking about making changes that matters, not just doing it halfway, but we pray that you will do it all the way because no one likes being on medication or sticking their finger every day to get some measurement. And having to buy medicine can be expensive. So why not spend the money on food and nourish your body in a way that can help you to feel well? Because some medication can cause us to feel sick, right? With the side effects. So if it is that it is doable and it can be accomplished, and we can bring stories after stories for you. I mean, if I ask my sister, she can just like tell you so many. She sees like almost 300 patients in a week. Not in a week. Anywhere 300 to 400 in a month, right? In a month. So, and imagine that for all the months in the year. So there's so many, and you'll see cause to effect. What are you doing? What's the impact? But every time they make changes to their lifestyle, to their diet, they come back and they report improvement. So would you like that for you too? And what I want you to think about is, number one, would you like to be healthy? And if you would like to be healthy, just share with us one reason why. What is your why? Why do you want to be healthy? Some people want to fit in a dress.
Dr. Nash, before they
Yeah.
share,
Yes.
one thing I want to say is that whenever anybody change their lifestyle and start eating the whole food meal and eating twice a day and getting the exercise and everything, they
Yeah.
always said, I feel so good.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. That is so true. And even if you were not doing it fully and you step up to being consistent with your exercise, you would say that just that too, because it makes a difference. So let's hear from you. One reason why you will want to be healthy. One reason. Okay. To live longer. Very good. Yeah. All right. You can unmute, you can put it in the chat, whichever way is easier for you. Yes, you want to enjoy your family. You want longer life.
No pain, no gain. You want to be live long, healthy. You won't feel any pain. You
No
will be
pain.
more stronger and can think clearer and study the word more better.
Yes, very good.
Well, one reason why I went on my diet. Number one, I wanted my cheeks to look rosy when I read how Daniel and the three Hebrew boys, their cheeks were rosy. I wanted my cheeks to look rosy too.
Yes.
But the next thing,
reason we'll take that.
yeah, but the next reason was when I thought about diabetes, how my family suffered. I didn't want to be juking myself all the time. You have to make the U every day. You have to give yourself these shots. I didn't want that. I feared that like somebody had a gun to my head. And I didn't want to be in that situation. So I just purpose in my heart, like Daniel, that I will I will go by God's diet.
Amen. Wonderful. And it's worked for you.
Yes,
So,
it does.
and the thing is, folks, it will work for you now and for long term. It has such great long term benefits.
Mm-hmm.
Or let's see. Someone says, I want to be good health and prosper. Yes. Else, yeah. Estella.
Yes, I I'm so much I believe I'm living this long. I'm 73, and the doctor I visited about 20 years ago, he realized that my family line they had diabetes, hypertension, and so on. So at that point, he encouraged me to stop eating meat and stop sugar and stop eating, you know, dairy products and so on, all those things, and ice cream and all those things. And I came off, I had stopped quickly, and then, well, I started to feel sick. And then he told me gradually. So I'm off it, and I believe that's why I'm living this long because I came off it. And I believe that's why I do not fully have that diabetes because I didn't stick to what he said really. So most of the sometimes I still drank a little small time between and the little cake Christmas time and so on. But I believe that's why I'm living so long now. So the lifestyle has a lot to do with our longevity. I believe our lifestyle.
It does. And we're glad that you are here so we can keep encouraging each other. All right. So Peggy James, you're there? Okay. Someone says, yeah, that's our Heavenly Father's wish for us to live longer, just as family members, to feel better and be a great example to others. Marcelin?
Yes. I would like to come off of the medication and be disease free as well because I too have, well, I don't like to say that, but all the women in my family have had diabetes and they've gotten glaucoma and they lost their sight and lost limbs and they also had cancer and they don't live very long. They're not very long livers because of these diseases. And I, excuse me, vowed to myself that I wouldn't get it. And I wanted to be that, generational curse breaker, the one to not get those diseases. But because now I'm going into premenopause, everything is just going so, out of control that I'm getting everything now. Because my hormones are so out of whack, as the doctor said, it's not affecting me in a good way at all. It's affecting me in a very, very bad way. And so it's affecting my, the diabetes, it's affecting my blood pressure, it's affected my heart. At 50, going on 51, I have all these complications already. So it's very depressing for me at such a young age to be, having all these diseases, these lifestyle diseases that I swore that I would not get, So I really want to make that change because it's really getting out of control. So it's not for me now, it's not a matter of because I want to live longer or because I want to look nice or anything like that. It's a choice that I have to make or else I will die from one of them. I will die. So it's not a matter of if and or maybe for me. It's a matter of life and death for me at this point.
I'm so happy that you recognize that for yourself and not someone else telling it to you. Because why I asked everyone to sort of pause to think about what is their why and to think deeply what is your why and why, okay, so you want to live longer, but what does that mean for you? you're going to experience better health. Yes, that's what you're aiming to live longer, to break that generation curse, but even to be there for your family for longer, and so many other reasons. So when we get our core why, and then what does that mean for us and even for our wider circle of family, of friends, of community? How valuable you can continue to be making valuable contributions in their lives and having such great purpose and meaning in your life accomplished, then that can be your driving force every day to keep you going, keep you focused. And it's important for us to pause and recognize that. Okay, so let's get quick points from Natalia, Barbara, and I see we have some additions in the chat. We want to thank everyone for putting in their why: to honor God with my body, to enjoy life, be healthy, to live disease-free, to be healthy in order to share the gospel, and to have a clearer mind to make right decisions. That is so good. Yeah, because our food can influence our thought, our thinking, to be stronger and feel more comfortable. Less doctor bills. I agree with you. To glorify God in my body. Wonderful. And yeah, someone else wants to be disease-free too. I want to have a good quality of life after retirement. That is excellent because many persons look forward to retirement and they don't have that quality of life after retirement, or sometimes they may not even make it. I want to be able to help others to be able to point them to God's way. I used to be tired and depressed, and changing to plant-based diet in 2012 has revived me. Excellent, great encouragement. And so do we have a group for menopause? Now, yeah, I'll address menopause and hypertension. I'm coming to that as we wrap up. Barbara Welch, and somebody put their hand down. We were going to take you. I just wanted to get through the written pieces.
Yeah, Dr. Nash, I couldn't sit here and hear you talk and don't give my take. You may not know this, but I heard you did a presentation in 2012 for the women, fibroids, and some other women, conditions. And when I heard that, I wasn't a Seventh Adventist then, but when I heard that and I started hearing all these health messages and so on, at that point in time, I was experiencing menopausal, problems. I had fibroids. I could feel them when I lie. And, I was pouring, going through that menopause situation and hearing about the plant-based diet and the health message and so on. When I made that shift, I can tell anyone the fibroids shrink. And I learned how to combine some herbs, like wild, um, wild yam and black cohosh and, those things. And they really assisted me. But I'll tell anyone plant-based diet combined with the health laws would really sustain you and change your life. So I just thought I'd say that 2019, I had hypertension and not hypertension, hyperthyroidism. And I was able to use the very things that I learned to revive me because the doctor had said he had never seen any readings like what I had. And as a result of using, all the teachings I've received here has recovered me. And so I just want to be a testimony tonight to tell people these things we're hearing, they do work. God bless you all.
Thank you. Natalia, you had your hand up earlier. You were lined up. Yes, go ahead, Natalia. Are you getting through to unmute? Okay. All right. Yes, go ahead, please. You are unmuted, Natalia Macano. Okay, we're not hearing you. All right, someone wants to be slim because I don't want to be going to the hospital every day. I want to see my family. Yeah, hi. Someone is speaking? Yeah, I want to smokers. All right. Oh, you put your message in the chat. Okay, I see it. All right. So yeah, you don't want to be going to the hospital every day, to clinics. Those things take time. They take time. And yep. So remember your why every time you think about things. All right, so we continue to have some discussion next week and get a little bit more granular. I will post some videos that we have done. I did post one on Sunday, but I'll repost it. And just to help us to make some of these changes, get up to speed. And recognizing that we are all on a journey to better health, all of us. I am too, everyone. And so wherever you're at, is never too late to start to make changes, to get more serious in order to achieve your goal. So we have identified why we want to be healthy, and we will work through together. How do you set your goals for yourself? What does that look like for you? What does healthy mean and look like for you? Is it that you're able to walk better? You're able to be disease-free? Some of you mentioned that. And how do you get there? What are some of the changes that you need to make to get there? So next week we will discuss some of that and get the help that you need. Okay, so individuals asked for some links, and I will put that into the chat right now, and to join the WhatsApp group for which is Monday Night Live, but also for the healthy challenge that's going on. So that's that. Then we have the diabetes one. Someone needs to get the diabetes support group. Right. So to join the diabetes support group, I'm going to put that in here as well.